Brendy Scheerer. I'm a national bikini competitor, the franchise relations for BPI, and I'm also a BPI team athlete. Well, I definitely grew up in a very interesting family. Health and fitness was not high on our list of priorities. However, I was an athlete, so I was always active and into sports, into stuff like that, but I never actually understood the part about diet, nutrition. I'd grab a KitKat bar out of the pantry, hop in my car, and head off to school, and I thought that was a healthy breakfast. It's definitely come a long way since then. When I first kind of realized things were a little bit different is when I stopped playing sports, and all of a sudden, your body changes a little bit as you start getting older and putting on a few extra pounds, and that KitKat bar turned into 5 pounds here, and the Reese's 5 pounds there, and eventually I just realized, something had to change, and my lifestyle was not what I wanted it to be at all. After I finished high school, I went to college and stopped playing sports, put on a few pounds, and my life wasn't going the way I wanted. I had some personal family issues. My family was actually pretty concerned about my health at that point. I was doing a lot of things that wasn't the best for my body. A lot of girls go through it, a lot of self-image problems, but it came to the point where my sister, who suddenly passed away unexpectedly, she was always kind of my inspiration, and after I lost her, it was kind of a wake-up call, like, what are you doing to yourself? You need to get healthy. My sister believed in me when I didn't, and when she was no longer there, it was kind of like I wanted her there in spirit. So that was kind of my first intuition. I needed to do something, and I got a trainer, and I got someone to help me with nutrition, and that's kind of where it started, and it kind of became an addiction almost. Instead of eating food and being unhealthy, it was going to the gym and doing cardio and actually eating stuff that made me feel good. Not really knowing anything about sports nutrition, but I saw them in the magazines. I saw pictures of these beautiful girls, and they kind of became my idols, and I just said I wanted to look like them. And I remember taking this magazine to my trainer and saying, hey, I want to do this fitness competition, and he kind of looked at me and goes, oh, maybe next year, And I was like, no, it's in 30 days. I want to do it. I can do it. Let me try. And he's like, you know what? We'll do what you can. So I worked my butt off. I entered this competition. I ended up taking 3rd and 4th. It was one of the best feelings ever because I never ever thought I would be in that position. It kind of started this whole inspiration of something that I could look forward to in a goal in a competition, and I'm always looking for a new challenge, for sure. For me, training, I really like a variation in it. Compared to most girls, I actually really like to train heavy. To me, it's kind of a challenge, and I tend to be on the leaner side sometimes, so I really have to work to build that muscle. So I definitely prefer the heavy lifting, the maxing out, but I also get bored easily. So I'll be the girl doing the random like cardio ballet or like rockin' Pilates, or I just really like to mix it up. But definitely heavy lifting is probably my first choice. But then kind of doing fun things on my days off would be kind of what keeps me motivated and keeps me going. There used to be a point where I could definitely squat over 300 pounds. For me, considering my body weight, I'm almost doubling it, actually I'm over doubling it. To me, I think is a pretty big deal for a girl. Now, some of the women bodybuilders could probably shut me down, but it's definitely, to me, I really want to be able to build that max, build that climb. Even if it's only 2.5 extra pounds, to me, I'm like, yes, I can do it. And it definitely, it's a challenge, and it's fun. Cardio, I'm definitely 5 days a week. If I could do it 7, I surely would. Lifting, I try to be in the gym at least 4 to 5 days. Usually I'll try, Mondays I'll do maybe back and biceps. Tuesdays I'll do legs, but maybe more quad focused. Wednesdays is definitely my cardio day. Thursdays I'll do shoulders and tris, and then Friday, my favorite day, definitely is butt day. I'll spend a whole day working on my butt for sure. And then Saturday is usually where I throw in something a little unique. Pilates, ballet, kickboxing, a circuit training class, and then Sunday is definitely my rest day. However, occasionally you might see me doing a little cardio just for fun. I definitely used to dread cardio, but then I kind of realized it's a moment in time where there's nothing else you can really do. So it kind of clears your head, kind of makes you feel good, and I used to kind of turn that negative into a positive. And everyone jokes around, especially at the office, because we're fortunate enough to have a very large, nice gym. I'll be out there doing cardio twice a day, and everyone kind of jokes around, oh, she's doing cardio again, oh, she's doing it again. But it's that time where I can get away from everyone in the office and kind of clear my head, and at the same time, you know, burn a few extra calories from the Skittles I probably ate 5 minutes ago. I try to mix it up. Usually I'll do slow burn a couple days a week, but I definitely like, you know, I'll do 3 minutes, kind of take it easy, and then 1 minute I'll go, you know, absolutely crazy, kind of vary it as it goes. But ideally, you'll always find me on the step mill or the Stairmaster. Anything that involves working your butt, you'll find me on that machine. Honestly, if I don't work out, I don't quite feel like myself, because it always gets my endorphins going, it always makes me feel good, and it just kind of gives me that positive energy for the day. And when I don't, I just feel like something's a little off. Granted, if I've worked my butt off all week and it's my rest day, I'll surely enjoy it. But if it's one of those things where I'm just like, oh, I didn't get a chance, or I didn't give my full effort to work out that day, then I truthfully feel like I'm missing a little part of me. Time is always a battle when it comes to a crazy schedule, but for me, I am very strategic when it comes to making the best use of my time. I will return emails and do conference calls while I'm on the treadmill, or I'll be the random girl in the hotel at 11 o'clock at night doing whatever cardio machine they conveniently have. Definitely make time for it, because the fact of the matter is it's a choice, and it's easy to get off track when you decide, oh, I don't really need to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow, and it kind of starts that snowball effect. And I'd rather do the snowball effect of where I have to do cardio every day versus putting it aside. Nutrition is a tough one because I do have such a crazy schedule. In a perfect world, I try to eat 5 to 6 times a day. I'm definitely big on lean protein and veggies. I love vegetables. I try to keep, you know, my carbs in morning and lunchtime. But if I'm not doing a higher carb routine, I'm definitely gonna up my fats for sure. I'm a big fan of avocado, guacamole. My easiest meal that I found is the best as far as like you can eat it cold or hot. Turkey and zucchini is kind of my go-to meal that you always find me eating. I'm a huge brown rice fan. I try to stick with the rice when I'm packing. I tend to eat a few protein bars here and there. Unfortunately, with a crazy schedule, you can't always have the perfect food available for you. So I'll do the best I can, whether it's a protein shake, whether it's a protein bar. It just kind of varies. I try my best to keep a clean diet, but it's really tough. It's really tough on my schedule. My go-to spices, black pepper, cayenne. Those are what I put on every vegetable, fish, chicken, steak, you name it. That's kind of my staple item. Now, my kind of like for oatmeal, a lot of people put cinnamon, but I actually get the pumpkin pie spice. It doesn't have any sodium in it, so it kind of changes it up a little bit. So those are kind of my hidden spices, I guess you could say. Since I am on the go all the time, I do tend to eat out. And the easiest way for me, it's kind of my tip, is anything I always order dry. I ask for no salt, no oil, and I always ask for sauce on the side. It's the easiest way to kind of avoid those extra calories that you may not necessarily eat if you're at home cooking it yourself. Anytime I order chicken or something on a salad, I just ask them to make the chicken fresh. I don't mind waiting, but usually if the chicken has been pre-made, a lot of times it's sitting there in a lot of salt and preservatives, so I just try to avoid that as much as possible. I'm the type that usually I have Skittles or Starburst or something kind of hidden in my office or my bag. But now I know with moderation, you'll see me eating that candy, but you also see me as the first person on the treadmill in the morning. So it's kind of where I've found that balance, but I'm not willing to give it up. Dieting definitely doesn't happen all year long with me. It's just it's just impossible because I have such a crazy work schedule, and I like to have fun and I like to have a life. So for me, of course, when I'm training for a show or an event or something, you know, where I have to look a certain way, I will definitely kind of put aside my candy addiction, at least wait till after the event. I have what I call my dessert egg whites. It's kind of my hidden little trick at nighttime. A lot of times we have kind of those sugar cravings or those late night hunger cravings. So I'll do some egg whites. I'll put a little stevia and cinnamon in there and scramble them up. And I kind of call it my dessert for the evening, and it kind of helps kill that craving, and I'm able to go to bed with, you know, pure protein in me at the same time with no extra sugars, or especially when I'm avoiding my candy. But that's close, but not quite. So that's kind of my little secret that I tell people. I will never say to take supplements over real food any day. For me, it's really important to get in your multivitamins, get in your CLAs, get in your aminos along with real food. Of course, you know, traveling all the time, it's tough to always get the real food in, but by all means, that's the number one thing when it comes to actually health and fitness, in my opinion, is real food versus the supplements that may be available. You can never kind of trade that off. Ideally, you want to use it and make it work together. Protein is huge. Usually I do whey protein. For me, that seems to work the best. Everyone is different, but that's what I prefer. Of course, I take a multivitamin, and then definitely I'm big on pre-workout. I usually need something to kind of help give me that little energy, that extra boost to get through my workout. Definitely the focus is huge. I'm really big on that. And then, of course, my silk aminos that I add to Jell-O. So it's kind of a block sugar-free Jell-O, which I make as my post-workout treat. So I get my aminos and kind of get that sugar fix in there and kind of dessert all in one. Everybody's different. That's why there are so many companies out there. There are so many product lines. You have to find what works for you. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter what one person says, it may not react the same for the other. So all I can do is say what works for me. The difference that I see when I do take the supplements, I don't think there's anything you could compare it to. I don't think I'd be where I am. As a matter of fact, I know I wouldn't be where I am without the supplements, without the fat burners, especially with a crazy schedule. It's really tough to be able to do it without the supplements that are out there. That's it for me. That's a little bit about my lifestyle, my training, nutrition, supplementation. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, please feel free to contact me on Twitter, on my website, BrendyScheerer.com. Of course, you can find me at bpisports.net. For more videos and content like this, please check out Bodybuilding.com.